When the Muslim armies went and they opened up another country, the people who were conquered, they joined the army to the next round to another country. Everywhere else, when Alexander the Great came and took over the land, when he left, they were saying, "Oh, thank God they're gone." They didn't join them because they were, now saying, "Ah, now they're gone," right? They didn't join and say, "Let me open up." In Islam, this happened because they knew that this is for the truth and not about greed or about desires. This is establishing justice on earth. Am I believing in the right thing? Because you'll be surprised. I'm a Muslim. In the Quran, the God who revealed this Quran reprimands, takes people to task, those who say, "I'm going to stick to my forefathers' belief." For instance, what if they were wrong? So don't just believe in what your parents believed and parents tell you. What if they were wrong? Are you going to stick on believing in it? So Quran reprimands. Quran wants us to use our brains, our critical thinking.
Can you ask you one question? Like, you're a Muslim, okay? So why Allah brings a war to your brain? Why it happens? Why wars happens?
Wars happens. Okay. So Allah has created mankind and given them the laws to live by. These laws are beneficial for human societies to live as a society, as a community. Because individually, do you need any law? If you're all by yourself in a jungle, there's nothing else. You don't need any law. Law for who? Who are you interacting with? But when there's someone else, you need to know how you behave, how you talk. Do you steal from them? Or do you say a word which is true? Or do you deceive them? Laws are necessary when we are in a community. Of course, when you're alone, you don't need laws. But if you think about it, in a community, it's more necessary to have laws so that we can live in prosperity, we can live in tranquility, we can live in happiness, and no problem suffering. No one's going to come and kill me, steal from me, insult me, mock me, take my job, or whatever. Destroy my house, bulldoze my house, take my land. We need laws. So when God gives these laws, He does that out of His mercy, so that I don't have to go and trial and see which one's better. God gives us this for granted and says, live accordingly. Do not cheat. Do not lie. Do not bring false witness. Do not commit adultery. Do not kill unjustly, and so on. All of this are values which everyone can aspire to and say, "Oh, this is a good thing." But what happens is, some people don't want to believe in the laws of God because they have their ego and their desires and other things are influenced by. For example, they see a nice car, they say, "Okay, now I'm going to steal it because I don't have one." Then they take the right away of someone else. Now imagine you have a country and they see another country. They come in, occupy the country and take its resources and enslave the people because of greed. This happened. Did it happen? America went to Iraq. Is it because they had mass destruction weapon? There were no weapons. There was no evidence for it. But they went there, looted the country, destroyed their culture and the civilization, and look at what they have done. This is all about greed, political greed, because Iraq had oil and gas. Would they do that to England? They wouldn't do that to England. Yeah? So wars happen because people are greedy and they want to usurp and they want to take the rights of others and so on. So sometimes war can be because of this. But God gives us rules and regulations how to conduct if this happens. But if you're going to fight, fight for justice. Don't go and fight for greed. So I'm going to fight and then take their land. No. In Islam, we have a concept of jihad, which is opening up another land so that people can see the justice of Islam. Not to oppress the people, but to remove oppression, to establish justice. That is why this will be the only one example in the history of mankind. When the Muslim armies went and they opened up another country, the people who were conquered, they joined the army to the next round to another country. Everywhere else, when Alexander the Great came and took over the land, when he left, they were saying, "Oh, thank God they're gone." They didn't join them because they were, now saying, "Ah, now they're gone," right? They didn't join and say, "Let me open up." In Islam, this happened because they knew that this is for the truth and not about greed or about desires. This is establishing justice on earth. Islam, if I want to tell you one word, is about justice. Maintaining justice between your own self, between your spouse, between man and woman, between the societies. The Quran says, be a firm witness, even if it goes against you and your kith and kin, your relatives. No favoritism. The Prophet Muhammad.
I don't understand, because if someone wants to kill your relative or something else, you need to fight.
No, stand firm in justice. When you're going to be a witness, speak the truth. Don't just, just imagine, your brother killed someone. The judge asks you for witness. You're going to say, you're going to lie?
No, it depends on the reason why he killed
No. He killed it because he didn't like the other guy.
So I will tell the truth.
Right. Islam says otherwise. Establish justice. In fact, you'll be surprised how the degree of this message is put forward. Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is our prophet of God, he said, even my daughter Fatima, if she were to steal, what would you do? Cut her hands off. Even if the daughter of the Prophet did that, she's not going to be spared. Of course, she would not do that, but Prophet is teaching us a lesson. Even if it was her, how close can anyone be than the daughter of the Prophet? He says, no. No favoritism. Nothing where you actually demonstrate that you are going to commit injustice to society. So justice demands that everyone has the share of justice without being violated their rights and so on. So in an Islamic society, we have the rights of a non-Muslim citizen, and their rights are protected by the state. In other countries, go to Palestine, occupied Palestine. Do they have any rights? Their land's been taken away, their lives been taken away. International community doesn't give a damn. You know why? Why did the international community become so silent when Israel commits all these atrocities, for example? If Palestinians commit atrocities, we will be the first one to say, wrong. You cannot commit atrocities to another human being, even if it be against the Israelis. But when Israelis commit all this aggression and atrocities, the whole world is silent. So this is something that we need to really open up to and say, why is this happening? Why have they made this rule called anti-Semitism law? You can't talk anything against it, you'll be put behind bar, you'll be punished. Look at how they've done it. They even made it illegal. But Arabs are Semite people too. When an Arab is insulted, does anyone take them to court and say, no, he has to be a Jew? So that's how society has somehow been in the hands of certain people. The rich of this world is in the hands of certain people. Islam says, no, you cannot let people die in starvation and hunger. They have a right in your wealth. Your neighbor has a right over you. A believer, it's not like this. The Prophet ﷺ said, you are not a believer. You are not a believer. You are not a believer if you go fully fed and your neighbor starves in hunger. You're not even a believer. This is how much the right. In fact, the companions of the Prophet were asking, how much do they want? They were even thinking
yeah,
like...
But if your neighbor, like a very bad person who killed someone, why you will feed him or something like this, you know?
We're not talking about the exceptionally bad people. We're talking about a neighbor of a Muslim who's not a Muslim, could be a Jew, Christian, atheist, whoever. The companions of the Prophet were even thinking, are they going to even inherit from you? That is the level of how Islam is giving right to the people. We have a concept called zakah. 2.5% of our surplus wealth will be given to the poor and the needy. It's their right on our wealth. The more you have, the more you're going to give.